Good afternoon. I'm Robyn Hahn, President of Small Business at Westfield Insurance, and we're here in Westfield, Ohio at the Blair Center for the first installation of the 2020 Leadership Center, Cleveland Leadership Center's Facebook series. And so we're really excited to get started. And today we're joined by Liz Nilsen. She is the Associate Director of the Agile Strategy Lab at the University of North Alabama. So welcome, Liz. We're glad to have you in Northeast Ohio.
Great to be here.
And it's not too cold and too snowy for you,
No,
hopefully.
it's just fine.
All right, great. I think it would be great first to get started on an explanation of exactly what the Agile Strategy Lab is and how you became involved with their work.
Sure. So the Agile Strategy Lab works with individuals and groups who are looking for new skills and approaches and techniques to work on complex challenges where there isn't one person that can kind of tell everybody else what to do, which is a lot of our work these days. All of us, I think, no matter what kind of organization we're in. So we have a set of tools and trainings and that kind of thing to help people sort of figure out how to navigate in that kind of world. Because it's not what most of us sort of get educated in as professionals. We learn things differently.
So you mentioned various groups, and one of the questions I had for you was really around the work that you do across businesses and communities, and whether it's for-profit or non-profit organizations. What would you say has been what have been some of the more memorable engagements and where you focus that work?
Sure. So it's a little bit of everything. So it's amazing when we do a training, we've got usually some people from business, some people from university, a couple of consultants, a couple from regional, or community organizations. It's really a mix because everyone has that issue of, I need to get something done, and I can't tell everybody else what to do. So that kind of goes across the board. Some of our work is community-based, like we've done a lot of work in Flint, Michigan, originally on homicide, but then the water crisis.
Wow, okay.
We've done work with businesses. So, for example, we worked with a defense contractor that had just gotten a new order, essentially from the Department of Defense, and needed to partner with small suppliers. And that was something that they never really had a great experience doing. They needed help doing that. And so we're in a university, but it took a while for universities to figure out that they had their own issues that they could work with us on. But we do a lot of that kind of thing too.
So with that, you employ a specific process, I believe.
Yeah.
It's called strategic doing.
Yeah.
And the reason you're in Northeast Ohio is because you were with the Cleveland Leadership Center's 2020 class to actually do a strategic doing workshop. So can you tell us more about what that entails?
So strategic doing is a way for groups to form quickly around kind of future that they would like to create together, identify what success would look like for that kind of work together, and to start implementation from day one, understanding that because they're working on something complex, they're going to probably have to learn along the way and adjust. So that's sort of the big picture of what the process is, but then we've identified within that set of 4 questions, and then we break that down further into 10 different rules. So first question is, what could we do? What are the opportunities in front of us? Can't do everything, so what should we do? That's the second question. Third question is, what will we do? So we're not just going to talk.
Love that one.
What commitments are we going to make to each other to actually do the should? And then the last question is, what's our 30-30, which is shorthand for when are we going to get back together, talk about what happened when we fulfilled those commitments and what we learned, and then plan for the next period of time. So usually we look at the last 30 days and then plan forward for the next 30.
I hear 2 words in that, both starting with A, action and accountability. And so that seems to be at the core of what you're doing, yes. So the Agile Strategy Lab is located at the University of North Alabama.
There's actually 2. So there's one at Purdue, and that's where it started in 2005, I think. But we're sort of cloning a second one at the University of North Alabama, and that's brand new.
Okay. And how did you all come together with that work? What was your journey to become a part of the lab?
Yeah, so I previously worked for a pretty large national nonprofit organization and was hired on to work on a federally funded project, and kind of got in there and realized it was bigger than I felt like I had the skills to sort of manage. And I had met the folks from Purdue a couple years before that, and so I called and said, hey, that thing that you do, would that work here? Would that work in this situation? And so I brought them in as consultants for the project. And then, as that project started winding down, I had seen such amazing things happen in that project that it was just delightful when they said, well, do you want to come work with our team? That was just a great great opportunity.
That's how movements start. So do you see this as a movement, or do you see this as a practice?
We do.
That
We
people
see it
need
as
to
a
employ?
movement
Okay.
because, people get really excited. The thing that I love about it is a lot of my work has been, particularly with universities,
Mhm.
where people have had the experience over and over and over for years and years and years, where they sit in meetings and nothing ever happens.
Yes.
And they've decided that nothing ever can happen. And when they have experience of, gosh, we actually got something done and we're moving forward, that is so much fun for me to watch people kind of make that turn and then bring that turn into their organizations.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it is kind of a movement because we've all had just years of endless meetings.
Anything you can share with us on the future and where the work is going?
So the idea of cloning the lab was a really important piece. So we work with a network of universities anyway.
Okay.
So universities all around the country who can teach these skills to people. And we're always looking for new universities to kind of get on board with that because we really feel like it's not just one university's job. It's everybody's job to do that. But we've made a decision to stay in the university because we really, we don't want to be consultants.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to, have an engagement with an organization where we have to be there forever.
Mm-hmm.
We really want to teach people how to think about doing things differently, and then we can kind of back out and get on to the next challenge.
I might put a plug in for maybe training organizations and in companies, because
Yes.
so often we can put that into our core curriculums as we
Yes.
rise up new leaders
That's
and
right.
help develop
That's right. Yeah.
from a talent
That's right.
perspective. What would be a piece of advice based on the work that you've done that you would offer leaders to actually achieve a lasting impact?
Sure. So there's 10 rules, and one of the things I told the group today is that many of the rules, there's a way in which you can put them all together into a process,
Mhm.
but many of them can be kind of standalone sort of rules. And I told them a story. So one of the women we work with in Flint, Kenyatta Dotson, she has what she calls Kenyatta's rule. She says, if you ask me to come to a meeting, she's a community leader, she says, I'll come to a meeting. But if I don't walk out the door with everyone having an assignment for something to do, I might give you a second meeting. I'm never going to give you a third. But that's a habit that we need to have, that we
Yes.
never leave the room without every
Yes.
single person having something to do.
Yes. And if you know going in exactly what you are to accomplish, then
Yeah.
you're accountable for that as well,
Yeah.
right? Anything that you would like to pass along that isn't a part of the core curriculum, just based on your own personal learnings?
Oh, gosh. So one of the things I've seen is that we do, in our trainings, we kind of touch on it, but I think it's important that sometimes people feel as if either they don't have anything to share, that they don't have any assets, is what we call them, any kind of resources to share towards a group's project. We also have people sometimes who show up and feel like, well, I'm too important to contribute, right? I don't have time, I'm too important. And on both ends of that spectrum, part of what we try to do is to break that down, that everybody has assets. It might not be professional, it might be personal, it might be a hobby. Everybody has something, from a teenager all the way. And that what you have to offer may be really different. And so the person who's kind of at the top of the organization or whatever, who feels like they don't have time and they're too important, sometimes the most valuable thing they can do is get barriers out of the way for everybody else.
That's true.
So, that's often their contribution.
Yep, their role, absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time
Sure.
to join us today. We truly appreciate it. I know that the class was super excited to have you as part
It's
of
a
the
lot of fun.
Leadership
It's a
Cleveland
lot of fun.
curriculum.
So.
We're grateful for the conversation and the ability to connect with you. How would other people connect in with you and the work that you do?
Yeah, so we have a website, strategicdoing.net, and you can click on the Contact Us button and let us know who you are and that you'd like more information. We're more than happy to
Terrific.
have that conversation.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you
All
for
right,
asking
great.
me.